So once again, here's the eggs that we incubated and the Brahmas. Now we had to separate them yesterday finally. They were just getting too big to be in one cage, so we put the others down here. Carolyn tried to put the bigger ones down here and the smaller ones up here. There sure is a difference in behavior as a result. That is a Brahma. These golden ones are Brahmas. They are huge birds. You can see the little fuzzy feet. They'll get to be about 12 pounds, the rooster. There's a rooster there. He's got a green mark on his head. And there's another one right there. He's got a green mark. Those Brahmas are so timid. It's just neat to watch them. They're just so relaxed. And they're supposed to be very friendly birds. Now these are the ones that incubated, the black ones. Now they're the smaller ones of the batch that we incubated. Like I said, these are the bigger ones. And these guys are much more aggressive. So I guess it's just they became the kind of dominant ones while they were all together. But last night, boy, they wanted to go back up. They were really screaming. They wanted out right before bedtime. They didn't want it in there. So Carolyn dropped the little blanket here down, kind of shade them from the rest of the light. I stomped my feet on the floor a few times and they finally went to sleep. But they're eating a lot of food and drinking a lot of water, and we haven't lost any. I'm looking forward to these Brahmas getting big. I'd really like to incubate them next year, their eggs. I don't know if I mentioned it, but we got 5 females and 2 males. Now we're going to replace Frenchie. I've told everybody we're going to replace Frenchie. And Rue. We got 2 roosters down there now. We can't have 4 roosters. We may not even be able to have 2. I don't know how these 2 are going to get along. But right now, Frenchie is absolutely a terror. I mean, he is just, and it happens with roosters. When we first got our chickens, Frenchie came from a straight run, which means we didn't know males from females. And all of them died except him. Well, then we got Buff Orpington females from Orscheln. Well, it turned out that we had more males in those Buff Orpingtons than females, even though we bought females. I don't know, we had like four males. So we had 4 Buff Orpingtons and Frenchie. Well, we decided that we're going to get rid of the Buff Orpingtons because we wanted to get Americanas, and we thought Frenchie was Americana, and we still think he is. I mean, he's a straight run, he could be anything. So then we went to the farmer, we got Americanas. They give colored eggs. In there, what you just saw, in the top cage, other than the Brahmas, the golden ones, the yellow ones, are probably Americanas. The blacks and the grays and the silvers, those are Americanas. In the bottom cage, you saw a bunch of golden ones. Those are probably like Buff Orpingtons and New Hampshires and Americana mix. So when we got the Americanas, we got another rooster out of the deal. We got Rue. She didn't do a very good job at sexing. I mean, we wanted just females, but we probably got, I guess, 3 or 4 males. We butchered all the males except Rue. So we got Frenchie and Rue now. Rue is pretty laid back, but Frenchie is getting very aggressive, like I said a few seconds ago. He's just torturing everybody down there. We actually think he might be eating the eggs. We think what will happen is we had a hen who had a soft egg, meaning it didn't have any eggshell, didn't have enough calcium. So we got her back to having enough calcium and took care of that problem. Well, we're losing eggs. We know we are. So I've been trying to observe what's going on. What we think happened was the hen must have broken an egg open and ate it to get the calcium. But I don't think she is continuing to break eggs. If you look it up, it's unlikely that she is. I mean, she may have gotten a taste for it. But what I've noticed is Frenchie stands over all the hens now as they're laying their eggs. Stands right on top of them and just hovers them. So what we've been doing is going down there a couple hours and grabbing an egg. Actually, this morning I've been going down every hour and grabbing the eggs. Gotten 2 this morning. So I'm beating him to the punch. Yesterday, I saw a Buff Orpington. For the first time in my life, I saw a chicken lay an egg. And they don't actually lay when they're laying an egg. They kind of stand up a little bit. Not sure if that's important, but that's the way it was. We're going to have to get rid of Frenchie. I said this in the past. I actually said in the past that we were going to butcher him, and I got so much negative feedback that we decided, well, I've already made the mistake. It's obvious I won't be able to tell my audience if we're butchering chickens anymore, because it was pretty horrific. So we're going to sell Frenchie and Rue, or donate them, or give them away, or whatever. I mean, I would rather have the meat. I really would. But it's quite obvious that when Frenchie comes up missing, people are going to tell me, oh, you can't butcher him, he's a pet. I don't consider these animals pets. It's hard to explain how I feel about these chickens, because a lot of people say, well, you care for these chickens so well. And I try. I really do. I take care of them the best I can. I try to make sure they have a good life. I don't want them injured. Like right now, Frenchie is torturing those hens, and it just drives me crazy. I don't like it. I don't want that to happen to those hens. I want them to have a good life. I kind of look at it as give them a good life right up until it's time to end. And I was trying to figure out a way to make folks understand how this works. I take care of my meat, the food in my freezer. I put it in the freezer, I package it very carefully, and it's not even living. And when I take it out, I put it in the fridge, I let it thaw. Well, that's just kind of the same way. I don't have feelings towards the chickens. Now, I had to put a dog down one time, my dog, my pet, and that was very difficult for me. I mean, it was a hard day for me. So I understand the difference between a pet and a farm animal. And a chicken's just a farm animal. It doesn't have emotional value. I'm glad they're around. I like watching them. I like playing with them. But in the end, they are my food, and that's what we got them for. We've been trying to figure out how to cut down on the chicken feed cost. Although not very expensive, it could get expensive. Right now, it's about $14 for a 40-pound bag. Now, we live out here in the Ozark Mountain area region, and it's very rocky terrain. I mean, everywhere you look, it's just big old rocks. And I can show you. You can see all these rocks right here. So when they dug into this, just huge rocks everywhere. Carolyn picked all these up. There's spots on our property that is nothing but rock. One of the areas everybody tells me I need to cut grass, it's just rock. So it's not a good farming area is what the point I'm trying to make. There's not a lot of farms around here to require a feed mill of some sort. So, but up north where my mom lives, it's very farmland. It's all farmland, all of it. Mile after mile after mile is just farmland. It kind of reminds me of Iowa. Trying to find cheap food around here, it's pretty difficult. Now, Mom went to the MFA. She just got some chickens, and she went to the MFA, and she was able to buy a 50-pound bag versus our 40-pound bag for the same exact price, $14. You would think it would be worth the trip to go and buy some chicken feed, but it's not. Gas prices are just so outrageous. Once you calculate the gas price into your chicken feed, it's not even worth it anymore. So going to Orscheln's to pick up a 40-pound bag for the same price what Mom's paying for a 50-pound bag, it all comes out the same when you factor in food price. Now, you would think, okay, well, buy a bunch of it, make one trip a year. Kind of. We don't have the storage area for it. We could put it in the camper, which is where we got most of it now. But then you got to worry about rodents getting into it. I think we already have a mouse down there. I got a mouse trap set. I thought I heard a mouse in there the other day, but I haven't heard him since. So it could have been anything. Once you get rats and mice in there, they'll just devastate it. Now, we don't want rats. I mean, rats are just terrible. They'll get in there with the chickens. They could actually eat the chickens. So it's not really an option for us. Now, Carolyn and I have been in search of a feed mill somewhere, somehow, close by. And we think we might have found one. She's still researching it. She found a place that will fill a container. You bring the container, they fill it. $14 for 100 pounds. So double the amount what Mom's getting, which is worth the trip. So, but Carolyn's doing some research, because the thing is what they don't, it's not really a business. It looks like it might be a farm. It's quite the distance away. It's probably 60 miles away. It is just past, I would say by another 30 miles, our grocery store. So if we drove to the grocery store, got some propane in the same town, and then went ahead and gone up north even further to get to this feed mill or this farm or whatever it is, to fill up like 2 50-gallon drums of food, that would be worth it. So she's trying to get a hold of them. She's been trying to contact them for 2 days now. How do they load the truck, for example? They say you got to bring your own bags or your own thing. Well, they show a picture of this huge bag sitting on the ground as they're filling it. Well, do they have a fork truck to put it back in the truck? I don't know how they do that. If we had a 55-gallon drum, that's going to be, my guess is it's going to be around about 240 pounds. So it's not something I'm just going to be able to lift up. I could shimmy it up probably. I'd probably get it up there, put the lid on the drum, get it up there if I had to. Getting it off the truck's no big deal. We'll put the lid on, secure it, and we can just roll it right off to the wagon, the lawnmower wagon. So if we can get 100 pounds for $14, that would make it worth the trip to go that extra 30 miles past the grocery store and back. So we got 2 bags of food right now, so we're in no big hurry. Even if we got to go to Orscheln's, that's fine. We still got to get some 55-gallon drums. They're $20 a piece. They're up there by Orscheln's. Some guy sells them out of his backyard. There's always room to improve your savings and your efficiency. Now, when I say about this female, I missed something. One of the parts about the female is they're not advertising chicken food. We don't know the price of the chicken food. What they're selling is all stock. So it feeds pigs and cows and different things. Somebody asked a question, it's on their Facebook page. What about chickens? They said, yeah, we can mix an 18% chicken food with calcium. So they can do it, they can, but we don't know how much it costs. So it may not be $14. I wasn't trying to fib to you, I was just telling you that we are in search of. I just forgot to mention that they have to mix it. Carolyn and I were discussing this morning, maybe next week starting another batch of incubation eggs. We only have 15 chickens, and last year we had 25 meat birds. Well, these birds are going to be a lot smaller than the meat birds that we had last year. So if we could get 30 to 40 chickens out of our incubation cycle this year, then that would equal out what we made last year. So if you could check out that super thanks button down there, I'd really appreciate it. So I hope I can inspire you to continuously improve your savings so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.